asked the question, would I take love or would I take my career? Right. And I think it's a question like nobody really likes to talk about, like we don't really want to answer. And it made me realize that I'm gonna choose my career.
Hold on, Ashley. I gotta challenge you on that though. And again,
I'm gonna choose love.
I'm
the lover.
You finally say something smart to me.
I'm the lover.
What?
Listen,
because if the love doesn't come with all of this,
it's tough.
If love doesn't come with the stability and the structure and the lifestyle that I want to live, then I don't think that I want it. I want love. Don't get me wrong.
Ashley, we gotta ask the tough questions here down here because like. You got to think about this, and we're talking about in general, okay, Jackie? In general, maybe not you, the others.
Okay,
the
others. Like, I'm a crab, boy. I'm be like, yo, in general.
So look,
Jackie don't do no wrong.
Women generally speaking, women find fulfillment through relationships and children and family. Men find fulfillment through success, work, power, success, things like that. That's how men found fulfillment. Okay, so. Back to you. I'm sure you love your career. And you're good at it. Obviously, the results speak for itself. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that your son has brought you more fulfillment than all that stuff combined. And I'm not saying, correct me if I'm wrong. Go ahead. I see your face.
Go ahead. No, say talk.
What did you say? Your son? No,
your son. I said her son has brought her more fulfillment. And when I say fulfillment, I'm not necessarily saying only happiness, but just like you feel like this is my purpose here.
All right, Ashley, go ahead.
So.
Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
And I'm gonna choose my words wisely in case my son ever sees this podcast because I love my son wholeheartedly. Sure. But do I think that one of my purposes was to be a mother? No, I don't. Do I ever desire to be a mother again? No, I do not. Do I ever have goals of reproducing? No. So if I date a man and at this old age of mine and a man does not have kids and he tells me that he wants to have kids, I'm not the one for you. We can be friends. It's not a sense of like, oh, you'll change your mind when you fall in love. No, I won't. I don't want them. I do not want to be responsible for another human being. And I have no desire to give another man a baby at all, like non-negotiable. And so does my son bring me some fulfillment? Sure. Is it my sole purpose in life? No.
And actually, I respect you for saying that. I really do. But I have to push back and challenge that a little bit.
I do too. I got something.
And I'm saying this as respectfully as possible. Please don't. I'm not taking it. I would never.
Okay.
I know you love your son. But like, do you think that maybe you feel that way because you never had the ideal, not only family structure, but also you never really had a man that made you come in and want to submit and feel second to? I feel like if you ever had that in your life, you would feel differently. It's like, I compare it just real quick. I compare it to this. I always do the scenario in my head. I say, damn, how the fuck did people in the 1800s survive in the summertime without fucking air conditioning?
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss what you never had.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Okay.
Right. And what you saying, what you just said was 100% correct.
All right.
Because my first son, his father passed away at 3. So I've raised him, as a single mother thus far.
Okay.
I don't recommend it. It's extremely ghetto. I've also like lost 2 children. So it's like a trauma response behind that
Fair
too.
enough.
And also the next relationship that I get into, I would hope that they have their own kids that are near my son's age so we can enjoy traveling and doing things. I don't want to look for a babysitter. I have no desire to get a car so I can fit a car seat and a stroller. And I'm not saying like one's right and one's wrong, but I think that it is important to have honest conversations with the people that you potentially want to date so expectations are not can be met. And so if you tell me that you want to have kids and I verbally tell you that I do not, I don't want you to get into this relationship and think 2 years from now something will change and then you're disappointed when I don't produce. That's right. And if something does change, then okay, but be okay. But know that if you go into this relationship and I never give you a child, you can never bring it up. I never want to have a topic of discussion about it. I never want to hear you say, oh, I didn't have a kid. I don't give a fuck because I told you in advance. So you cannot hold me accountable for something that I'm giving you full disclosure on, right? And every woman's purpose is to not have fucking kids. It's very much FTK.
I think Jalen kind of was a little bit of your purpose. And what was the question though about like where you get fulfillment?
Just women found.
Jalen pushed you. You had to hustle because of your son.
Yes, and that is a survival tactic. That is not a That's
this getting good.
But
That's
that kind of
survivable.
put a fire under your ass. And
But
you had,
who the
you had,
fuck said I wanted to?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that
But
that's the
you're
thing that
doing what
fulfills her, though.
So can I ask you this? Because
but your job fulfills you now. What fulfills you now?
What fulfills me now is being able to go back and talk to the kids that once looked like me, and go back and be able to talk to Jalen's friends and expose them to the financial literacy that I didn't have. Right. Like at one point in time, it was real estate that fulfilled me. But now I'm saying, like, in a bigger scheme of things, I do enjoy going back to the kids and talking to the kids and showing them what once was. But I don't want to be solely responsible for another human being.
So that was going to be my thing. So if you have that man, the way he talked about the structure, like with my daughter, like my wife, like if my daughter could be with me, like she can go do your thing with your friends, go ahead and enjoy time. She don't gotta look. We don't have to look. She don't gotta look for nobody to do nothing. My daughter's with me. That's my child. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you put in a position where man's financially responsible or taking care of what he needs to take care of, where you can say, you know what, I'm gonna chill for a little bit. Would that change your mind? Because I think because what you have experienced, like you said, some of the trauma of some of the things you experienced, that's why you have depicted it in that way.
That was my point too, D. It's just like you're damaged, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way because I'm damaged too. Everybody's damaged to a certain extent.
I don't take offense to that at all. I don't. And what you're saying, like what both of you are saying, are valid points, right? But I also never want to mislead somebody, because even if you do provide me with those things, and then I turn around and I still not give you that child, I don't want to be held accountable for that.
I think we're kind of like missing the point here, because we're saying two different things. I agree with what you're saying, like be upfront initially, but our thing is that we think that if you would have had a healthier dynamic growing up, you probably would have had like your career fulfilling you is a trauma response, not a natural state of being.
Exactly.
And like you said, that whole survival thing of him pushing you is a trauma response as well. But like I said, if you were put in position where you were given the opportunity of, hey, listen, I got you. You feel the support. Mm-hmm. If a man felt, he got me. He know what he gonna make sure. If I can't get up, if I'm sick, if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not being able to do things, you had to depend on yourself a lot, and you can tell.
But what if you die?
But okay,
and that would be the trauma response to because my son's father was that, right? Mm-hmm. And then he died. Mm-hmm. And so I can't predict if you're gonna live or not. I could get life insurance policy out on you and be
but you can't predict a lot of stuff though. Just like whether
I would rather avoid it.
Well, you don't avoid getting in the car. Trauma, you don't avoid getting in the car and driving.
Yeah.
How'd you get here? You drove, right?
So this is really good. I like the dialogue, but I want to say this: like the majority of women, you are an extreme outlier in a couple of areas, because the majority of women who get with guys that they feel is safe and secure with, they don't necessarily die that young. You know, you are extreme outlier with that, because most women aren't going to go through that. I just kind of find it funny a lot of the time. I'll accept you saying that, but the majority of women live in this kind of like mindset, just like it's always worst case scenario. It's like D was saying, like, damn, I could go out and get in an accident leaving here today. I could go tomorrow and have a stroke and die. Like, it's just like those things are outliers and not necessarily things that actually happen. You guys live in this like just this fear bubble where like everything's always wrong. What if he leaves me? What if he divorces me? I'm like, relationships shouldn't be like that. Everything is a risk. We try to mitigate risk the best we can. That's all we can do.
You know what's worse than dying?
Not living.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and I'm not, I swear. But like, so let's say Jackie doesn't have kids. She wants them so bad. That's why
that hurts me to hear her say
to say that. It's like,
oh
but
my God.
It's so, and it's
my
okay.
life has not
I don't feel like females, like, it's okay that it doesn't fulfill me. Like I feel like it's okay that it doesn't. Whether it be a trauma response or not, I still feel like at this age I've reproduced, right? I could say that I've populated the world. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. Like, let me travel and be unbothered. Like and I get it. Like if somebody else is taking care of, as the mother, I'm still responsible, right? If my child calls me, whether the father is here or not, I'm still coming, right? I still need to be present for that child. And I will say that if I were to have a child today versus when I had my son, they would get a completely different parent, right? Because my son grew up with me. This child would get a more stable, a more secure, a more a well-rounded.
So you wouldn't have to go through the same
Exactly.
things. I'm not trying to advocate for you to have a kid. I'm a perspective person.
And I've always put all of that into perspective. I'm very logical behind the decision. And if it does ever happen and it happens, then okay. But I still just have, at this moment in my life, I have zero desire. And I lead with that because I never want a man to think that if he's going to provide me with all of these things, I'm going to change, because I'm not. I might not.
And